Welcome back to the Senior Storybook Talk Show. I'm your host, Dillon Williams, and if you have not seen the behind the camera segment on this episode, then I highly suggest that you go watch it. If not, then here's a rundown of what we're about to see today. Today, I'm going to talk to visual artist and close friend Tayla McNeil, and we'll be filming at the Brooklyn Steam Center. Now, the Brooklyn Steam Center is a facility which I go to, and I am enrolled in their film and media pathway. And the instructors there, the people there, played a big role and a big part in putting this whole production together. So I express my complete gratitude towards them and all the people that are there. But I know this has been somewhat long awaited, at least for me. So without any further ado, here is episode 1 of Senior Storybook. I hope you guys enjoy. We are back with someone who is very special, me, and I guess, we have Miss Tayla McNeil. How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I don't think I've ate much, but things happen.
You need to eat some more. Okay.
True.
Understood.
Yeah, but Tayla is a close friend of mine.
Close, I guess.
Close friend.
Ooh.
And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It means a lot. So, as an artist, for those who aren't familiar, what do you do as an artist? How you describe yourself?
I would describe myself generally as a visual artist.
Mm-hmm.
I dabble, I guess, in a lot of different mediums. For example, I'm a dancer. I make motion graphics edits. I do like music video type things. I love photography, video editing, stuff like that. So I kind of incorporate all of them into being an artist. So that's why I just say a visual artist.
And how long have you been interested in the arts?
I feel my whole life, honestly, from young. A lot of things that I consider art, a lot of people won't consider. For example, when I was really young, I did gymnastics,
Mm-hmm.
but gymnastics, as a part of it, incorporates dancing. So from gymnastics, I became a dancer, and then after, I started learning how to play the piano and all these other things. So mostly my whole life, it just was a nice progression to different subjects of art.
And how do you think you've grown from when you started to now? Because I'm sure that from what I've seen, you're very experienced and you produce some great work.
Thank you. I feel now I definitely have a lot more knowledge about certain things. Personally, I feel as if that when there's something that I want to know, I'm going to teach it to myself regardless if someone's going to teach it for me. So programs like After Effects, I taught myself how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now, as an artist, I'm a lot more experienced than I was before. Obviously, that's the natural progression of things, but I always try to make sure that I improve in any way that I can. So, yeah.
So when it comes down to your artistic process, do you think that you're someone who is very meticulous and this has to be perfect?
Oh yes, unfortunately. You were gonna say something else? I'm sorry.
No, it was just the other option. So now that you answered, how do you deal with that? How do you come to the terms that either one, things might not be perfect, or how do you know that things are perfect once you see it?
So unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way as all the time. For most of the time, I do freak out a little bit, not a little bit, a lot. And then by the time that I have to calm myself down and understand that there are limits to everything that I do, I'm not going to be perfect from the get-go. I kind of just give myself the wherewithal to know that at some point, I'm going to be better than what I've produced before. So it's just understanding that in the future, I'm going to get better, and what I produce right now is the best that I can, because for every project, I try to give my all. And that's just really how I battle with that.
So what would you say is the favorite project that you've made, if you have one?
I don't know if I have a favorite project, because I feel all of them are special in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
They reflect who I am as an artist at the time that I've made them. One of them I do like a lot is during summer of 2020. This is 2021, right? Summer 2020, I made a music video to the song Ready for Love by Lucky Day. And it kind of just talks about the issues of COVID and being able to like interact with people and the difference between isolation and companionship now. And I just feel like it was a great representation of how I felt about it and my emotions towards everything going on. And I just really like how it came out. So that's probably one of my favorites. Not the favorite though. I like them all.
I hope you guys are enjoying the episode up to this point. I want to take this section of the video to dedicate to the classes 2021. Congratulations to all the people who are graduating or who have graduated. It's been a very tough year. If nobody else is proud of you, I am proud of you. So, with that being said, let's not waste any time and get back into the rest of this episode. So, Tayla, when it comes down to doing like the different arts, whether it's going into dancing or creating a video, does the mindset like change at all? Or is it just the same thing of wanting to be better at what you do?
The mindset in that aspect of wanting to be better at what I do doesn't change at all. Every time that I try to go to dance class, it feels like I'm trying to push myself even harder, make sure I can get my splits even further down or be more flexible than I was before, have more energy for this. It's the same mindset with creating a video project. It's more of how can I create an entire story on screen? But even with going to a dance competition, it's how can I create an entire story through my body, if that makes sense. So the mindset doesn't change, and wanting to be better at it never changes either.
And do you have a preference of like dancing over like making videos, or is it all just the same passion for you?
No, it's all just the same passion. That's why I just classify myself as a visual artist, because my love for all of them like coincide.
What do you want to be like in terms of the future?
Okay, so in terms of the future, that's a bit of a difficult question because in this industry, it's really hard to make it, if that makes sense. It's difficult for people to blow up. Ideally, like in an idyllic world, I would like to be a content creator, but if that doesn't happen, because you know you kind of have to really put yourself out there and be consistent, I see myself at a company that allows for like production or in terms of graphic design or something that related to the arts. So a job that's probably like a creative manager or stuff like Netflix, Hulu, video editing, anything that deals with like behind the scenes or on screen, anything really, honestly.
Yeah, because like you said, in this industry, it's just really shaky, and the pandemic is definitely plays like a big example of that. Because you see like people in Broadway, like they don't have a place to work anymore, and with their skills, it's like really hard to find somewhere else.
Right.
But you said ideally that you want to be like a content creator. So are there any content creators that you like take inspiration from?
Yes. Inspiration, how?
In terms of like the content that you're trying to make or how you present yourself.
It depends, because how I see myself being a content creator, it would just be a mix of everything. I would like to just be able, to post what I want, when I want, in like all different mediums. So being able, like if one day I want to post a dance video just because I can and be monetized for it. Or if I want to post a vlog, I can and be monetized for it. So there's different types of people who make those things. Like I've seen people on YouTube or other platforms make short films, but then I've also seen different people, their channels consistent with only having dance videos or only having this. Unfortunately, that isn't what I want for my life. I don't want to just be stuck in a box of having only to do one thing. I want to be able to explore and take chances and explore what it means to be an artist. So inspiration-wise, not really. I haven't really seen anybody's channels like that before.
Well, that's a good thing then, because now you know that you're bringing something new to the table.
Hey.
And yeah, like you said, you don't want to be put into a box. So like really exploring the whole concept of content creation, you want to get everything out there. And if the product is good enough, then people will gravitate towards it.
Yeah.
Like people won't see you as like the dance girl or the video editor. They'll see you as Tayla.
The artist.
And that's like a great thing.
Yeah.
What piece of advice would you give yourself, like if you were to go back in time, let's say like 3 years or maybe to your freshman year, in terms of like just as an artist, what piece of advice would you give?
I would tell myself to not be so afraid to commit to an idea of putting myself out there. Personally, I struggle with believing in myself and in my art. So I feel it'd be better if I could tell like my freshman self or even my middle school self that if you like this, it's okay to put your all into it, even if other people aren't gonna like it. In terms of dancing, other activities that I did outside of school, like piano, my motion graphics edits, being able to like put that product out there and not be afraid to just put it out instead of waiting for the perfect moment, because there is no perfect moment. You just have to give it out. So, yeah.
Yeah, putting yourself out there as an artist is like hard.
It is.
Because like there'll be something that you love, but you're always afraid of like, what if somebody else doesn't?
They hate it, yeah.
Especially when you're younger and like people's opinions really get to you and how you feel. Because when you're younger, you're like, I want everybody to like what I'm doing.
I feel like it doesn't even change as you get, like it depends. As an artist, it's hard when you get older to see yourself not feeling that way because you have an idea in your head and you want it to work so bad. And when someone else doesn't get your idea, you're like, hello? I just explained it perfectly to you. You have to see it through my vision. I just feel it's easier sometimes when you're speaking to other artists or people who are engaged in the arts who appreciate it a bit more, if that makes sense. No offense to the people who like art, but they're not an artist. It's a different type of connection that you have with someone else who engages in art. They're like, wow, like you really put all this work into this. Sometimes it's hard for people to understand and see the amount of work you've put into something and for them to like it when they don't get it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like surrounding yourself with like like-minded people is like really important to your art. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be someone that thinks the Mona Lisa is bad, right? In terms of like, once you create good art, people are going to say that it's bad, or they probably won't understand like the whole process that goes into it. But once you're like surrounded by people who appreciate and knows what goes into making such great art, then you can understand like, okay, like you can have a better appreciation for what you're doing.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that wraps it up.
Okay.
I don't have any more questions for you. Thank you again for coming. It really means a lot.
Thank you for having me again.
And yeah, thank you to the crew that is here, the 3-person crew. Thank you to the Steam Center for allowing the space. And yeah, we can cut right there.
Cut.
Nice.